Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
No, it is not just random XRP speculators talking about a settlement. I see more lawyers than I ever have currently talking about a settlement being imminent, and I'm going to show you guys why that's the case. Right here we see Bill tweeting out. He's a lawyer I follow. He said, "I think it will settle. In my litigation practice, more than 95% of cases settle. Unless the SEC really has non-merit-based motive to delay all the way to trial, I would expect a settlement." So right here, we can see that this guy is saying almost every case I work on ends up settling. Jeremy Hogan has said in the past that the judges are actually incentivized to make the two-party settle so that she doesn't have to rule on any issues that could end up being controversial. You let the two parties hash out their differences, you help mediate the negotiations, but at the end, you let each party make their compromise and really figure out the best way for both of them to move forward. We can see right here that this guy responded, and he says, "I see Ripple taking this to the end. They want to set a precedent for the industry, not just themselves." So this is a very interesting perspective right here. He's essentially saying, I don't think Ripple's going to settle because I think Ripple wants to create a precedent for the entire crypto industry. And while I do believe that Ripple likely wanted to do this at one point, I no longer really think this is a realistic scenario. And Bill actually responds to this and says, this is also a non-merits-based motive. I would expect Ripple to settle with the moment the terms offered satisfy what it needs. In any event, why would Ripple risk a loss for the sake of the entire crypto industry when a settlement giving XRP clarity will give it a competitive advantage? And this is a very, very critical statement by Bill, and he hits on a lot of key points. One, Ripple needs to settle because they are burning money with this case. They want this thing over with, and if the SEC brings terms to the table that is going to help advance their business and get them out of this regulatory purgatory, they are going to take it. It is in their best interest to get clarity for XRP, and that is it. While I do believe they likely want clarity for the whole industry, because I've heard their executives say that in the past, that is not their main worry, and if clarity for XRP is on the table, there is no doubt in my mind they will take it, and Brad Garlinghouse has even come out and said this directly. Also, I think it's very important to address his other thing he says, and he says XRP clarity gives it a competitive advantage. And this is so true. If XRP is given clarity through this court case, and the SEC says they do not see it as a security because it does not fit their definition of what a security is, then XRP is going to have a huge advantage in the US market. We have already seen the SEC backtrack on their statements regarding Ethereum and Bitcoin. XRP would be the only cryptocurrency given direct and certain clarity on its status by the SEC. This would allow institutions to pour into the asset. Ripple holds a lot of XRP, and this would do insane things for their business. I think this is just a great thread to point out by Bill to show that both Ripple and the SEC are incentive to settle this. Why the SEC? Well, they've been losing this case miserably. The whole organization is becoming a laughingstock by retail investors, but as well as congressmen and different representatives who are sick of hearing their constituents complaining about the actions going on at their agency. The SEC has been playing defense this entire case. They likely want to get out of this with something they could call a win, which would be a settlement. So therefore, I believe it is most likely for them to do this. I do not believe they would dare go to trial based on all the evidence we have seen play out on this in this case. I really haven't seen them present any evidence, so I think the SEC is likely the party actually begging Ripple to come to the table, and I think once Ripple gets everything it wants, then I think we're very likely to see a settlement take place. I want to keep moving though and really address why so many different lawyers, so many different personalities are all talking about a settlement and why it could happen any day now. Right here we can see Jeremy Hogan tweeted this out, and essentially this is a clause from the Ripple SEC case that says at the end of each fact discovery period, Ripple and the SEC must meet up and talk about a settlement. This is one of the things judges use to try to help convince the parties to come together and settle. Like I said before, the judge does not want to make the decision in this case. It is much easier for her if the SEC and Ripple can settle this thing, make a compromise that works good for both of them, so she doesn't have to get in the middle and start deciding on all these huge issues. It's a lot easier for everyone. Jeremy Hogan tweets out, yes, a 1-hour settlement discussion happened a couple months ago. It didn't settle, which means the next most likely settlement time would be at mediation. See era below, which has been hosted by the one and only Judge Netburn, who has seen all the documents in camera review. So right here, Jeremy Hogan is saying that it is very likely that in the next 2 weeks, we are going to have the Ripple and the SEC come together with Judge Netburn to talk about a settlement. So something very interesting about this, and I saw Jeremy Hogan say this in a reply tweet, is it is very likely Judge Netburn will communicate to both of the parties how she wants to rule on some of the major upcoming motions. This will allow the parties to hash out their differences, figure out how the rest of the case will be decided, and then come together and say, based on this, and this happening, with what Judge Netburn said, we can then tailor our settlement based on the potential outcomes that are going to come later down the road. So this is huge because what Jeremy Hogan is pointing out here is that there are likely a lot of settlement talks that are going to be happening in the next 2 weeks, so we need to be on high alert. I tweeted out right here, settlement discussion will happen in the next 14 days. Everything is playing out exactly how they said it would. COVID accelerated the timeline. This is the final act. So what am I talking about here? What timeline? Who has been talking about this? Well, I believe this is where this video gets very interesting. Because as we can see right here by Fame21 More, Darren Moore, excellent channel. Make sure you guys check him out. He's one of the best researchers in this space. Exclusive IMF, 10 countries simulate cyber attack on global financial system. So, for those of you who've not been around in the crypto or the XRP community for a long time, different people in our community have been talking about this taking place, this exact scenario we're seeing in the world right now, for years now. The speculation over upcoming cyber attacks, a reset of the financial system, has been talked about non-stop, and it is not pure speculation. I'm going to be showing you guys later in this video clips of the most powerful people in the world saying exactly what I just told you, and this is going to blow your mind. But one of the most speculated things in the past, and given I didn't even necessarily believe these things in the past, I heard them and they just seemed too crazy, too outlandish to all be taking place. But it had always been talked about that when these cyber attacks roll in, XRP will be given clarity and used to rescue the financial system. I know it sounds crazy, but bear with me. What we see right now, and as I tweeted out, the fact that settlement discussions are happening now. We are closer to ever to XRP getting the clarity it needs, and at the same exact time, we now have cyber attacks going on all over the world. Right here, breaking. SWIFT system might be under serious attack. Be ready for a new SWIFT alternative. U.S. banks prepare for cyber attacks after latest Russia sanctions. The narrative right now is built around cyber attacks. And in no way am I saying that everything we're watching right now is all a plan, but all I'm saying is take a look at this because it is clear this is being foreshadowed for a long time. So whether people knew this was going to happen or this was all a plan, it doesn't matter. This has been foreshadowed. It is clear that this is known that this was going to happen. So just listen to this.
When I think about systemic risks to the
let me turn up my volume.
When I think about systemic risks to the financial system, I always think about cyber risks, really more than anything else.
We may have, through financial inclusion, digitalization, fintech, a bit more vulnerability. Why? Let me just say one word: cyber attacks.
I believe that there will be another crisis. It will be more significant, and we need to actually start preparing for that now. When we do see this next crisis, it will be faster than what we've seen with COVID. The exponential growth rate will climb, be much steeper. The impact will be greater. And as a result, the economic and social implications will be even more significant.
To the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole.
We are coming to the closing session of this extraordinary event, designing a great narrative for the future.
So two things right there. Tell me Klaus Schwab doesn't sound like the ultimate villain. Second, sorry about the volume. All those clips were on different volume levels. I felt like a DJ over here, like trying to adjust it perfectly on each clip. But right there, we saw the Federal Reserve, IMF, BIS, all the most powerful banking institutions in the entire world foreshadowing a cyber attack in 2018, 2019, and 2020, years before all of this was playing out. We can see that now in 2022, we have the cyber attacks rolling in exactly like all these different powerful institutions we're talking about. These are no joke people. These are the heads of central banks all over the world who have been perfectly foreshadowing the events we see taking place right here. And to add something else, this is a meeting from 2019, a national security crisis, a simulation on digital currency wars, and guess who's sitting right at this table? Yep. Right there, that is Gary Gensler in the center of these digital currency wars, talking about how cyber attacks and the threat of these cyber attacks could put us in a situation in which we need to implement a digital currency to rebuild the financial system. Let's keep moving though, and just to put a cap on all of this, I wanted to show you guys this tweet by Tony Valentino, because this is all the way back to 2018, and this is just once again foreshadowing exactly what we are watching playing out right before our eyes. Guys, I know it sounds a lot, very conspiratorial, but look back, it will blow your mind how much everything we're watching right now has been perfectly laid out by different people. Tony Valentino tweeted out, "Money is power, and whoever controls the financial system and the blood of the system, XRP will dominate. The IMF and BIS, etc. are all Western creations and tools. Wait for their announcements. Besides XRP, the West has nothing to counter China, Russia, and the BRICS as a whole. When the BRICS nation unveil their new payment system, and China in particular reveals their gold-backed crypto, do you think Western world is going to just sit back and panic? Or do you think they don't know exactly what's coming and have been preparing? XRP will restore the balance of power." Guys, it gives me chills reading these things right now. It blows my mind that people could foreshadow the events we're watching taking place.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.